The weekend recap is back. We're back, man, after vacation, my birthday. We're getting back at it, and I'm so excited that I don't even have an intro prepared. Well, I've started posting regularly on TikTok again, so if you're on there, give me a follow. Linked below, my friends. Linked below. Sometimes we have condensed versions of my video topics that you see on here, and sometimes I do stuff that I didn't even make a video on, so it's worth a follow. And no, TikTok isn't all just stupid dancing, as I've come to realize. The African Cup of Nations. I haven't seen a ton of it, admittedly, but I caught some matches this weekend. The second round of matches have come to a close now, and one of the more gifted teams going forward, Ivory Coast, played up against Sierra Leone. They are fresh off of their draw against the defending champs, Algeria, and this was a doozy, man. Franck Kessié had a penalty saved, that's a rarity, but Mohamed Kamara has proven he's a great shot stopper. His style is very fun to watch as well. This man is a sweeper keeper, for real. Anyway, later on, Zaha linked with Haller to give Ivory Coast the lead, but before they could grab another one, Moussa Kamara equalized. But man, the talent in this Ivory Coast squad. 10 minutes later, and Sangare, highly touted and wanted player, set up Nicolas Pepe to make it 2-1, but that wasn't it. Later on, Kamara got an equalizer in the 93rd minute, 2 matches, 2 draws for Sierra Leone. What a story they are. Incredible to see. No doubt you guys would have heard about, how they arrived at the tournament by boat instead of plane. There's just so many fascinating things about this side. Man, a shocking result in the other match as the holders Algeria struggled once again. This time they played against Equatorial Guinea and lost 1-0 thanks to a goal from Orozco in the second half. Really disappointed to see from Algeria, but some great storylines along the way. Algeria are yet to win a match and they face the Ivory Coast in their final outing of the group stage. Remember, the third place teams can advance as well. In Group F, Gambia and Mali played out a 1-1 draw. Much controversy surrounding the end of Mali's first match against Tunisia, you'll remember. And speaking of which, Tunisia got a 4-0 win over Mauritania, who were the subject of some national anthem issues by the stadium staff. Pretty upsetting for the Mauritanians. This group is extremely tight still, with Gambia and Mali on 4 points apiece, Tunisia on 3 so far, and none for Mauritania. In the Premier League, Brighton and Crystal Palace kicked things off this weekend with a 1-1 draw. Brighton truly have a habit of those draws, don't they? Every time I mention them, I feel like it's a draw. And the numbers check out as well. That was their 10th draw this season to go along with their 6 wins and 4 losses, keeping themselves within striking distance of a European place. But top 4 is just a little out of reach, I would think, until they start turning some of those stalemates into wins at a more consistent rate. But hey, Conference League, Europa League, it's in reach. On Saturday, we saw Chelsea taking on Manchester City in a match that could have potentially been a turning point in the title race, but Chelsea barely bothered to show up. It was a terrible first half, in particular from Chelsea, as Lukaku continued to stink it up at the front, something Tuchel was very critical of post-game. I mean, it makes sense. When you make noise, as Lukaku did, the only way you can get back into the good graces of the manager, your teammates, and the fans is through your actions, is to perform. And he quite simply did not do that. And here's what Tuchel had to say after the match. Quote, "Sometimes he needs to do the service. I think he is included in this. He had many ball losses without any pressure and many ball losses in very promising circumstances. He had a huge chance, so he is included in this. Of course, we want to serve him, but he's part of the team and the performance up front, especially in the first half. We can do much, much better. And we need to do much better. We had a lot of transition chances in the first half." He's not wrong. That first half saw Chelsea not register a single attempt toward goal, not one, and when they had opportunities to transition, the outball just was never there or Lukaku miscontrolled it. While they improved ever so slightly in the second half and maybe could have grabbed a goal of their own, they were suffocated by yet another fantastic performance from this Manchester City side. Take nothing away from City. You don't win 12 matches consecutively on luck alone. Manchester City have once again shown how they are above and beyond everyone else through their consistency, not just this season, but their consistency under Guardiola in general. His team's always up for it and is always capable of this type of domination, as we saw against Chelsea. That said, without the brilliance of Kevin De Bruyne, Chelsea could have stolen a point in this one. But the right result came through in the end, and the gap between City and the rest is justified. We'll look at that later, of course. Wolves continued their own unbeaten streak as they are unbeaten in 4 matches and have won 2 consecutively with a 3-1 victory over Southampton, a victory that we saw a collector's item in. Adama Traore grabbing a goal. In fact, Adama Traore getting his first goal involvement of the season. It took him 19 appearances to do so. Great stuff from Wolves though. A stunning goal from one of the sauciest players in the league, Alain Saint-Maximin, played a role in Newcastle's draw with Watford. And Everton's 2-1 loss away to Dean Smith's Norwich absolutely played a role in Everton sacking Rafa Benitez, their 5th manager in 5 seasons. And their downward spiral continues. Rafa cleaned house as far as technical roles go within the club, absolutely failed to have any impact on the team with regard to the results, and then got the sack. No surprise there really, especially if you watched the video I did last week with Alan Feely. Speaking of how poor Everton have been structurally at the club and how that has affected the results. A huge downturn ever since Moshiri took over. Villa and Manchester United. 2 things going on here. United are still struggling to find themselves under Rangnick and to buy in, so to speak, into his play style, something that is absolutely required in order for it to be effective. You can't have a single entity within your 11 that isn't fully committed to Rangnick's style of play in order for it to be a success. So there's that, and then there's Steven Gerrard getting this very, very talented Villa squad playing at a pretty decent level these days, and with great fight as well. United had a 2-0 lead with 2 fortunate goals, the first being an incredible mistake from Emi Martinez, who failed to collect the ball from Bruno Fernandes' strike, and instead it bounced through his legs. United were buzzing in that first half and could have had more, as could Villa, but De Gea made a fantastic save from a corner and later from a Digne strike, their latest signing, by the way. Then from a terrible giveaway at the back, Fred rolled the ball into the path of Fernandes, and he wired it off of the bar and in. Great strike, unfortunate mistake at the back from Villa. Jacob Ramsey later pulled one back with his first ever goal at Villa Park, and later, who else but Coutinho to float into the back post and hammer it past De Gea for a 2-2 draw, from 2-0 up to 2-2. Liverpool invited Brentford to Anfield, and while Thomas Frank's side fought hard, as they always do, Liverpool overwhelmed them in that second half, didn't they? After Fabinho got a goal from a corner in the first half, Oxlade-Chamberlain's diving header made it 2-0 later on, and a mistake at the back saw Firmino and Minamino play a bit of quick touch before the Japanese attacker made it 3-0 the final for Liverpool. Speaking of 3, Leeds and West Ham United played out a classic. Bielsa's side has been very hit or miss this season, but have definitely fell on the miss side of things for the most part. On this day, however, well, Jared Bowen scored yet again for West Ham, as he's been incredible recently. A hat-trick from Jack Harrison gave Leeds the 3-2 win in a back-and-forth match in London. That was very fun, wasn't it? And with the North London derby getting postponed this weekend, the table is as follows. City had a 13-point lead over second place Chelsea on Saturday, but with Liverpool's win, they overtake Chelsea and sit 11 behind City now. West Ham sit 2 points ahead of Arsenal, who has 2 matches in hand, while Spurs have 4 matches in hand over West Ham. Hard to get a true reading of the table right now, isn't it? With, such a disparity between how many matches each team has played. Bayern lost in their last Bundesliga outing, but they trashed Köln away this weekend, winning 4-0 and with none other than Lewandowski getting a hat-trick. No surprises there in the result or the goals for Lewandowski. Their first goal was a record breaker in which Bayern broke their own record for scoring at least 1 goal in 66 consecutive Bundesliga matches. Müller also got his second assist of the match when Tolisso scored, meaning Müller got his 160th Bundesliga assist. And of course, upon scoring his third in this match, Lewandowski actually scored his 300th goal in the Bundesliga. A day of records for Bayern, wasn't it? Now, the day before this, Borussia Dortmund destroyed Freiburg 5-1. That's more like it from Dortmund, against a difficult opposition as well, and in a match in which if they didn't win, Bayern would have had the opportunity to go 9 points up. The first 2 goals were interesting, with Brandt setting up Meunier, while Bellingham played setup man to Haaland on the stroke of halftime for a 3-0 lead at the break. In the second, Haaland grabbed his brace, and Dahoud scored late on. What came after the match from Haaland will have been a bit weird, as he said that Dortmund are pressuring him into deciding to stay at the club soon, something the club, in the words of Kelch and Zorc, have said has not been the case. But there is no deadline, nothing. 2 wins on the trot for Tedesco's RB Leipzig as they followed up their big 4-1 victory over Mainz with a 2-0 win over Stuttgart this weekend, and Kunku's fantastic form has continued as he followed up his first goal His 1 goal, 2 assist performance against Mainz with his 9th Bundesliga goal of the campaign this season. Across all competitions, he has 17 goals and 12 assists from 27 appearances. Just ludicrous from the French attacker that is yet to get a single cap at the senior level for his country. Very surprising. Bayer Leverkusen went away to the struggling Borussia Mönchengladbach, and they added to their problems with a 2-1 win for Leverkusen, and it could have been so much worse as well, as Jan Sommer saved not 1, but 2 penalties in this game, denying Schick and Demirbay. Schick did indeed get a goal though, his 18th of the season from just 16 appearances in the Bundesliga, which is just fantastic stuff from him. He's failed to score in just 4 of his Bundesliga appearances. Wolfsburg's issues have not been solved by Florian Kohfeldt, have they? The Glasner magic of last season is dead and buried after Van Bommel and now Kohfeldt, and another draw saw Wolfsburg continue their plummet down to 14th, without a win in the Bundesliga since November 6th, 2021. Terrible stuff from them. And finally, Union Berlin got a 2-1 victory over red-hot Hoffenheim, meaning those two sides are equal on 31 points, right there at the top, fighting for 4th place at the moment. Bayern's lead is 6 points still. Leverkusen is just ahead of Hoffenheim, Union, and Freiburg. Quite the race, as per usual in the Bundesliga. Torino are climbing, yes! Ivan Juric has had an incredible effect on this Torino side, so much so that their efforts have seen them climb up into the top half of the table with their 2-1 win away to Sampdoria this weekend. Dennis Praet with the winning goal in this one. Sergej Milinkovic-Savic put in a great shift against Salernitana this weekend, so good that it was good enough to get Maurizio Sarri talking about him amongst the best midfielders he's ever worked with, comparing him to the likes of Kante, Jorginho, and more. Milinkovic-Savic got the assist for the opener after just 7 minutes, setting up none other but Ciro Immobile. Immobile actually scored his 14th and 15th goals of this season, all from just 17 appearances for Lazio in Serie A. Dybala and McKennie were behind the goals for Juventus versus Udinese on Saturday. McKennie was relatively unmarked at the back post as he nodded home. Another header from McKennie. Great goal, actually. A good switch of play from Dybala to pick out De Sciglio down the left, and his cross was inch perfect. For Dybala, he scored in the first half, actually, as an attempted give and go took a bobble, but Dybala could not be stopped, and he did not celebrate either. The reason for this, I can't say for certain, of course, but after the match, Dybala was asked about his current contract situation. He's been ready to sign since October, apparently, but the club has asked for more time. Dybala's contract is finished in June, by the way, and it looks like he doesn't want to go anywhere. Shout out to Antonin Barak, who scored a hat-trick in Hellas Verona's win over Sassuolo this weekend. 4-2 there, while Simeone took a vacation from scoring goals. He was still on the pitch, but just wasn't scoring. In his stead, the guys playing just off of him in Verona's 3-4-2-1 got the goals, that being Barak and Caprari. Venezia continue to keep their heads just above water, but it required the help of their newest signing. Veteran Portuguese attacker Nani came onto the pitch and got an assist with his first touch for Venezia after being out there for just a minute, basically. 1-1 against Empoli. Man, it must be great for a guy like Nani, who still has something to offer on the pitch as well, by the way, as he proved. But it must be great for him to still be playing at a top level and live in a place like Venezia in his later years. Nani, of course, is 35 now. He'll be with Venezia until the end of next season. AS Roma's new signing, Sergio Oliveira from FC Porto, scored what was the difference maker in a grind of a win against Cagliari on Sunday. His goal coming from the spot after a very, very clear handball. 1-0 Roma there. And it wasn't Inter's strongest showing of the season as they faced off away to Atalanta. The two Nerazzurri going head-to-head out there. And while they looked a little bit better in the second half, Inter that is, the chemistry just wasn't there in the attack between Dzeko and anyone really. Dzeko and Sanchez, and then Correa came on. Unsure why Lautaro wasn't used earlier. Maybe he was, nursing a little injury, but he replaced Dzeko in the last 10 minutes. Anyway, late on, Muriel had an opportunity to get a potential winner, but Handanovic got down quickly to deny him. In fact, there was a flurry of chances at the end of the match for Atalanta, but in the end, it was odds even, 0-0. So Inter retain a 2-point lead over AC Milan at the moment, while Napoli are 7 points off at the top, with Atalanta and Juve circling. So in Spain and Saudi Arabia, I guess we should say, we had both the Copa del Rey and the Spanish Super Cup ongoing this weekend. And there was also some La Liga matches like Villarreal losing to Elche, which was surprising. But anyways, Sevilla versus Real Betis was the highlight of the Copa del Rey fixtures, pitting the two heated rivals up against each other. And unfortunately, it was a little too heated. The match was abandoned on Saturday as a bar was thrown on the pitch and struck Sevilla's Jon Jordan in the head. Thankfully, he was okay, though he was subbed off. Naturally, and the match was abandoned. Now, prior to that, Sevilla had taken the lead via Papu Gomez, making way for Nabil Fekir, who is in some of the form of his life right now. He scored an Olympico, a goal straight from a corner, and it was a stunner, wasn't it? My goodness, what a hit by Nabil Fekir. Anyway, in the second half, Betis were rewarded for their great play with a great goal, with William Carvalho picking out Sergio Canales, and his technique was of the top drawer. The way he took the ball down, swiveled, and struck it past Pastor was just brilliant. From a player who gets not enough love. He deserves far more love, doesn't he? Betis win 2-1. It only took them 24 hours to get it over the line. But the two Seville sides are in fantastic form right now, which is great to see to add to a little bit of competition within the league. Over in the Super Cup, Real Madrid went right down to the wire in their difficult victory over FC Barcelona, a performance from Barca that is absolutely something to build on, I think. Great from them in comparison to other performances we've seen this season. On the other side of the bracket, the other semi-final, Athletic Bilbao took on Atletico Madrid, and Atletico failed once again, man. They really are in a bad place at the moment. More of those sort of uncharacteristic mistakes at the back costing them. But take nothing away from Marcelino's Athletic. He has a pretty damn good record when it comes to cup competitions, and he has shown that once again against the top opposition. And so Sunday's final saw Real Madrid and Athletic Club go at it, and Real were definitely in control and in the lead in the first 45. Luka Modric with the goal as he became the oldest Real Madrid player to score for them since 1976. Modric is 36 years old, and a second goal in the second half, and Real Madrid cruised through this final. They're Super Cup champions. Benzema got that second one, by the way. All right. That's it from me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's great to be back, and we'll have some great content for you this week. More episodes of the Unsackable podcast as well, TikTok content, as well as YouTube content. We got it all here. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm Adrian. Take care.